She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy gazpacho.
Sports can take a lame gorilla, okay?
Advice, did you know that Arsenal died?
He's got me buzzing.
Up the topies. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm not even going to comment on that. All right, boys, it is time for our U.S. men's national team corner with a great preview of U.S. men's national team for the first time under Mauricio Pochettino against Panama. It has been great to see players arrive in camp. He's already saying, or at least in press conferences, people have been saying that it's a lot more intense. I think it was Tim Ream that said, yeah, it's one of the longer training sessions that we've had. It's a lot more intense than usual. Anthony Jedi Robinson said that, yeah, usually the European players get in after a long flight and playing on Saturday, and you're just on the recovery bikes. You're just kind of taking it easy. And they went straight into a hard training session, a long training session. So definitely a mindset switch in that one. He says they haven't gone through that much tactics yet. Just trying to get the mentality right, get them fit and get them to where he wants to be, just basic kind of combo play. Was one of the biggest things in this game, USA versus Panama, is Christian Pulisic, because he is about one of the only healthy players we have that's in form. And he is in some damn good form. Scored again against Nick's jersey there, Fiorentina on the weekend. And boys, normally the largest headline for all of Milan and Italian outlets would be that Christian Pulisic that's a hell of a kit you got there. Little BVB. Christian Pulisic scored in 4 straight games. Has been an absolute star. We've been talking about it nonstop, and it's just a regularity at this point that Pulisic is going to be the best player on the pitch. What has taken headlines is not that. It is the penalty controversy. If you guys did not watch the game, there were 2 penalties that AC Milan drew against Fiorentina. The first one was taken off Christian Pulisic by the captain, Theo Hernandez. He has since been fined for this and also received a red card in that game. He misses that penalty. And then people outrage on Twitter, on all social media, saying, why is Christian Pulisic, who has been named the penalty taker, has never missed a penalty, not taking the penalty for AC Milan? So another penalty comes, and Fikayo Tomori grabs the ball away from everyone and hands it directly to Tammy Abraham, who refuses to give it to Pulisic, who's asking for it. And then he misses the penalty after the game, and Pulisic still ends up scoring in that game. He doesn't need the penalties, I suppose. But they end up losing 2-1 that game, and it's dropped points for them off of 2 missed penalties in a single game. Paulo Fonseca asked about it. The manager of AC Milan after the game says, yes, Christian Pulisic is the taker. I don't know why they're doing this, why they're taking it away from him. It absolutely cannot happen again. Talking of suspensions for Tammy Abraham and Fikayo Tomori, already Theo Hernandez is suspended because of his red card, but also a fine coming in for him. Nick, where does the blame go for this for AC Milan? Because it seems like an absolute shit show going on right now. Paulo Fonseca, if he's this upset and saying it absolutely should never happen again, I've made it clear Christian Pulisic is the penalty taker. Is it just blatant disrespect from the players to say, hey, fuck you to Paulo Fonseca, we're going to do what we want, and I'm just going to be taking penalties, ripping it away from people? Or is it on Fonseca to shout out, hey, I see that there is somebody other than our penalty taker trying to take this penalty kick. I'm 30 yards away. I can just shout, no, Pulisic, take it. Who is the blame mostly on, or where do you assign percentage blame here, Nick?
I mean, obviously everyone has blame on their shoulders. I'd even argue Pulisic has some blame on his shoulders, even if it's like 0.1%. Just demand the ball, brother. You got to be assertive. But I would say most of the blame, again, 0.1 for Pulisic. Don't get your panties in a bunch, flags. I would say that most of the blame falls on the shoulders of the manager. I mean, if it's happening twice in the same game and 3-4 different players are involved, I think that's someone who has not drawn a hard enough line with the team and isn't really showing them that he is the man in charge and is kind of like has to stand on business, in my opinion. So I think most of it falls on him. There's blame for everyone. I get Theo Hernandez, he's a captain. I get trying to get the new guy, Tammy Abraham, a goal, especially when you're both English. But I think if you have really, really, really solid leadership, that doesn't happen. If Mourinho's there, that's not happening, right? So I think that the manager deserves most of the blame, but everyone gets a pretty even share, to be fair.
Yeah, I will say there has been mostly only American fans blaming Pulisic for not stepping up and making a scene about it. We saw that at Chelsea last year with Madueke and Cole Palmer and Nico Jackson, where that became a media shit show. That's not going to be what Christian Pulisic does, especially in such a tense atmosphere that is AC Milan at the moment. Like, Christian Pulisic gave a penalty to Tammy Abraham on one of his first appearances so that he could open his account. Gave it to him after he had it in his hands, and he is the penalty taker. Now, Tammy Abraham takes it away from Pulisic and tells him, no, I'm taking it. Is it just a disrespect for Pulisic? Do you think it is any anti-American bias where there just isn't the respect for him, although he's been their best player this season?
Sure. I mean, maybe it's not as simple as that. Maybe it's not. He's an American. Some of these players were higher profile at one point than Christian Pulisic, Tammy Abraham included. Maybe they feel like they should still have that responsibility. But it's 100% right. He is the penalty taker. Should be his decision at the end of the day. If he wants to give the penalty, sure, that's for him to decide. Ridiculous. Like Nick says, it comes back to the manager. This has to be established in training. Everybody has to be on the same page. And to have it twice in one match is really ridiculous.
Crazy. That is
shows the
crazy
state of the
word.
club. I mean, ridiculous. That's a bigger problem than just penalty responsibilities if this is happening.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, Fonseca, he got his derby win, but
You know what the problem might have
man,
been? They might have, always thought that his tattoo was cool, and then they saw fucking Mike Wazowski on his forearm.
I saw that.
What?
Wait, is Mike Wazowski?
I did not know that.
Oh my god, he does.
Yeah, that
Shout
is
out
a
Monsters
problem.
Inc. Great.
All right,
movie.
you know what? We're moving straight into the USA Panama game because I think we have case solved. That must be the reason why.
I will never
Boys.
look at Pulisic the same. That's crazy.
Also,
What a brave thing
yeah,
to
thank
put
God
on
he
your
doesn't
forearm.
throw up the Mike Wazowski one eye celebration, but maybe against Mexico, maybe he debuts it. Boys, Pulisic scores. Balogun also scored this weekend. Somebody who's massive to the U.S. men's national team, but also dislocates his shoulder in that game for Monaco. His third straight game getting a goal. He was finally getting into form. He was going to be under Pochettino. It was looking so nice. Now, there is a massive amount of injured players not in this camp. So we have some replacements. They come in. Who now, with all these replacements in, do you want to see starting for the U.S.? Nick, I'll start with you with goalkeeper and defenders here, and then Mike, if you want to take over midfielders and forwards, and we can kind of edit our way after that. Nick?
Jesus freaking Christ. Who do I want to see in goal? Who do I want to see in goal for the U.S. men's national team? I don't know. Put their names in a hat and pick one and see what happens. Let's get Timmy Howard in goal. That's what I want to see. Maybe
Stefan?
Schulte, let's say. I don't know. Patrick Schulte, come on down. You are my starting goalkeeper versus Panama. Let's get him some experience. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll say our center backs. The fact that Tim Ream is still here, insane to me, but I guess he is. I don't know. Richards is out, right?
Yep, Richards
Yes.
and CCV are both out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, then I guess give me Mark McKenzie and Miles Robinson, I guess. I don't know. Both of those guys have a thing to prove, and I think both of them are probably, second or third in line to be the guy next to Richards. So fair to give them both a shot, see what we have. I'm not really buying into the Austin Trusty hype still. I've seen him play. He's atrocious. Right back. Let's keep it normal for the outside backs. Let's go Jedi and Joe. I don't know. I know he's probably going to save people for the Mexico game, so it'll probably be a more rotated squad for Panama. But maybe not if like the training camp is as intense as possible. Maybe he just wants his guys out there. Who knows?
Yeah. Mike, midfield and attack. Important one here.
Yeah, you could play around with the midfield a bit. I think the lock is Weston for sure. Phenomenal form. Definitely earned it. Been running his ass off. So hopefully that comes right back into the U.S. jersey. Haven't seen him play well in that kit in a little bit. Definitely jaded from the Copa America, but hope to see him back at his best. Definitely deserves to be there. And then next to him, I know Tessman wasn't initially included in the squad, but I really love what I saw in the Olympics. Caught some highlights from him in Lyon. Would like to see him get some serious minutes. So I think that's a good partner. And then ahead of him, I think Tillman deserves it. No Reyna in. Brendan Aronson definitely has a shout, but I'd give it to Tillman currently with his goal contributions in the Eredivisie.
Is he going to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 flags?
4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3 are his two formations he said he'll be using. So
he didn't say what he's going to use at first.
I'd imagine it's a 4-2-3-1, and realistically, it's going to be pretty damn similar. I think I would go Musa McKennie. I think
that's also a fine shout. Yeah,
he's going to love Musa. I think what we could see in the midfield is Brendan Aronson at that 10, kind of playing that Conor Gallagher role where he's pressing. Yeah. That pressing 10 he loved at Chelsea last season. I wonder if he uses something like that and then has kind of Malik Tillman in that Cole Palmer kind of winger that drifts in type role. Might be something. But
I don't know about that. But I do like the Aronson. I actually think Aronson could be on the wing, and he's kind of like the trigger for the press. I think I think
Brendan Aronson will start. Whether it be at the 10 or the wing, I think Brendan Aronson starts, and then other two, obviously Pulisic is a lock, and then Sargent or Pepe up top, boys.
Sargent easy. Give me
Sargent. Want to hear my opinion?
I don't want to hear your opinion.
I will say Joshua Sargent. That is my opinion.
Yeah, all right.
It's got to be Josh. I mean, he's earned it. Definitely playing great ball right now. Hasn't had the fairest of shouts. I mean, he's always been in the squad, but whether it's through injury or just not being picked, hasn't locked down that position for any meaningful amount of time. Definitely want to see him get the start.
Yeah,
hey, is Haji just going to be like a super sub for this team? Like, does he not have a spot in the starting 11?
I don't know. He might be a winger, but I mean, you have to put Pulisic at the right wing because he's much more of a left wing second striker. So it's also just, does he play as a striker now with Pochettino? Does Pochettino say, hey, I want him more as a striker rather than somewhat of an inverted second forward from the wing? It's an interesting position that he plays at Coventry. So
I also think
I don't know where he really fits in.
It is interesting that if we're counting Haji as a 9, Sargent, Vasquez, and Haji are all kind of bigger physical guys. You know what I mean? Like some of them are pacier than others, but they, for the most part, kind of have a similar profile. Maybe not in their gameplay, but at the very least in their physicality. So interesting that those are the guys. That was probably the only thing that raised my eyebrows was the Vasquez inclusion, even though I know he's been playing well. So interesting as well. I'll say.
Yep. Producer P, can you pull up that tweet I sent a little bit earlier in the Discord of the injured 11? I want to compare what we had as our starting 11 to this injured 11. And which one is better here, boys? Because this 11 of injured players, we have 13 players out injured right now. This one does not include a couple players here, including, I think, Richie Ledesma and one other that I can't think of right now. But, boys, this lineup with Diego Cochin, Serginho Dest, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Richards, Wiley, Johnny Cardoso, Adams, and then Paredes and Tim Weah out wide with Reyna with Balogun in front of him. Is that a better starting 11 than what we have right now with the Pulisic, Weston, Musa, Brendan Aronson? And especially maybe the defense might be that big difference here. Nick, which one are you taking out of these 11s?
I don't know. They're both stinky. I don't love either of them. This one, I don't know if Paredes, Wiley, Carter Vickers, God, kill me. I don't know. I think I would go with mine purely because we have Pulisic and this injured 11 doesn't.
Pulisic may just be the
So,
only thing.
I think you take that. We have no idea what Gio Reyna's been doing. Last time Timmy Weah played for us wasn't great. Flo is finding some form. I'll take our 11 versus this one, but it's closer than it should be.
Mike, how close is it, or are you opposite thinking this team might be better?
No, it's tight. I think Pulisic is the deciding factor for sure. You take him out of the current team, then it's really even. I think it's about 5 starters in each, and then the goalkeeper is a toss up. I mean, Des is clear starter. Chris Richards is clear starter. Tyler Adams, for my money, is still a clear starter, and Balogun as well. Gio Reyna depends on the day. So I mean, and Tim Weah too. So it really is about half and half.
Is Balogun really a clear starter?
I think so.
I think so. I mean,
he just scored 3 goals in 3 games, and his talent level, I think, is at a higher level than the others. It's about form, and he just got the form as well. So
I agree. I think he's our best striker. I just don't know if he's the profile that Poch is looking for. I think I'm gonna keep riding on that wagon.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, certainly at Copa America, he was most definitely our second best player, and
for sure. Speaking
of which, it was that game against Panama that he had that absolute banger that got us back in at the 1-1. Or no, that was for 1-0. They got us the lead after the red card. Had the absolute banger, and then it all fell apart from there. Speaking of that injured 11, real quick, Tyler Adams back to training for Bournemouth. Could be back to return against Arsenal on October 19th. Love to see that. Love to see that, brother.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Love to see it. Let's shift back to this Panama game, though. It is that team that beat us in Copa America that, yes, we were sent out by Uruguay in the final game, but realistically, this was a team that ruined our home Copa America, and Tim Weah, you can say, deserves X percentage of blame, whatever you want to put on him. But regardless, this team is the team that beat us in Copa America, Mike, and this is a bit of a revenge match. What do you want to see? Obviously, it's Pochettino's first match. In terms of how different we look and just overline scoreline. Does scoreline matter? If we look really good, but we can't put it away, and maybe there's some miscommunications in the back, we allow a goal in and lose. Is that upsetting, or is it just kind of, hey, as long as we're looking good and see the blueprint, you can see kind of what we're doing, almost like what Chelsea looked like last season, where you saw it, you saw the play. Is that what you're looking for? It's a revenge game? Is that a result needed here?
Revenge game, CONCACAF matchup, got to take it seriously, even though it's a friendly. First game under Poch, really what I'm looking for. I expect it to be rough, but I'm looking for the intensity to be there, players to be bought in, fighting for their positions, because it's trial season. You're putting out an audition for your new manager, so you have to be at your best. Does not matter that it's a friendly. I want guys to assert themselves, show their quality, and see how they fit in these new tactics, because it will be vastly different than what Greg was playing. I mean, God, I hope so. If it's the same type of ball, something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. But I expect some mix-up as well. 2 matches, huge roster, lots of talent. I expect it to be changing in and out. I think it would be dumb not to. So that will cause some roughness and lack of chemistry, but the intensity has to be there, and quality alone should get us results against Panama and definitely against Mexico.
Yep. I mean, quality alone, the U.S. have a significant level above Panama in terms of quality. Thomas Christensen, though, gets those Panamans to certainly play some good footy. Nick, after this game, we'll be headed to Mexico. After this game, what do you think we'll be thinking we took away from this game against Panama? And what do you think we're still going to want to see in that game against Mexico City?
I think I'm going to be disappointed after this game, which I know sounds bad, but I think I have big expectations. I think I'm higher on what I want to see this weekend. I think we should dominate them. We lost to Panama, but Panama is nowhere near the international team that we are. I mean, I think just on talent alone, we should beat them, but also this should be a group of players that are hungry to fight under a new manager especially a guy like Poch who has like the name recognition and honestly the skill as a manager. So I think we're gonna see like a pretty big performance, people running their ass off, and I think it's gonna end up being some good quality. I think we should win this like 3-4-0. I am prepared to be disappointed. I think that is an unfair ask for the first game in Poch. Everything Mike said is fair. But I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be a good game. What I think we're going to want more so than anything is just a little bit more of the intensity is going to be there for Mexico. I believe that wholeheartedly. Whether it's there for Panama, I think it will be. I think that's more up in the air, though. I want to see. I know he's saying we're not doing tactic sessions yet, but I want to see what this team is going to set up and be like. And I want to see at least the beginnings of those plans kind of taking root, even if it's simple. This guy joins the midfield. This guy drops out of the attack, whatever it is. I want to see something simple that we can break down together. And I think we're going to want to see it just a little bit more for the Mexico game, since Panama will be kind of his first test run. So I think we'll want to see a little bit more tactics, but I really do wholeheartedly believe that it's going to be back to a USA that we enjoy watching, which is a USA that just fights their ass off.
Yeah, I mean, against Panama, the US has kind of gone in a cycle where they have these tough games, and then, I mean, Pulisic got that hat trick. It's like 6-0. Even in 2017, they got that 5-0 win. It's not a team that they're unfamiliar with blowing out. Certainly, he's tasked with a harder personnel-wise task than maybe previously, because you have, like we said, that injured 11, about 5 starters out, and certainly some bench players out, but certainly enough to get the job done. I think, yeah, if they win 4-5-0 here, boys, the hype train is going to be
gassed,
full steam ahead. It is going to be something else. If he does something massive against Mexico after that, oh, boys, we're sending I don't even know. We're going to an electric train. We're going the Japanese speed train. We're not even
bullet train, baby.
Having steam, anything, man.
We'll be here for the overreaction.
With that being said,
either way,
what is the predicted score here? We're obviously amazing at predicting scores with our Lock of the Week competition. What is this USA Panama game going to end with? Mike, we'll start with you here.
3-1, the good guys. I think we'll have some sort of defensive breakdown or goalkeeper error at some point. Seems inevitable and let one in, but 3 goals. Got to be seeing some firepower up top. And I think we're going to hit them hard on the counter, catch them out at least once or twice. So 3 goals seems like the minimum to me.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm sticking with it. 4-0. I don't know. Something's speaking to me this game. 4-0. I think that's a scoreline that will make us very happy. And I think I'm going to be disappointed if this is a close game. I really do.
I think it's going to be 3-0. I think that the U.S., Mike, as you said, may look a little sloppy defensively. I still don't think that. I think they have the individual talent to kind of make up for those mistakes. In the attack, I think they're going to have a lot of opportunities. It's going to be about that system getting going to where they can kind of finish those. As we saw with Chelsea early on, they had so many chances and just needed something to finish it. I wonder if that finishing touch, those finishing movements and positioning is going to be there quite yet, but still see a good handedly 3-0 win for the U.S. in this one to set Pochettino off on his first win here. Boys, we are awfully close to 200 subscribers. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Let's try and get to 200 subs for our 100th episode, which is in just a couple here. Mike, any final words before we part ways here?
Up the Toffees per usual. Up Timor-Leste. Shout out the boys forever. Up the U.S. men's national team. So excited. Seeing those pictures of Poch in training all week. Electric. It's finally here. It's real. All the players are gassing up the training sessions, saying it's a new leaf. We're turning a new page. Exactly what we want to hear. They're always going to back the manager, but it seems legit. Everything seems good coming out of camp right now. Now we just got to perform.
Nick, close us out before our first Pochettino sighting.
Up the Gunners, and shout out to us for being the #1 Timor-Leste podcast in the world.
I think that is true. I'll footy with the boys. Until next time, peace.